Hey everyone, and welcome back to This Explainer. So today we're diving into a topic that's pretty heavy, but absolutely crucial to talk about. We're going to unpack a really tragic global reality when it comes to domestic abuse, and then we're going to contrast that with a definitive, unyielding standard of how things actually should be. Our goal today is to really get a handle on the root causes of this issue, straight from global health experts, and then take a close look at the profound biblical counsel about the level of honor that is expected in a marriage. Okay, let's just jump right in.
A recent report from the World Health Organization throws a spotlight on a pretty staggering reality. It states that many husbands physically, verbally, or emotionally abuse their wife. And listen, this isn't just some rare, isolated thing. This is a widespread crisis. What you really need to take away from this, right out of the gate, is the sheer scale and the different layers of the problem. We aren't just talking about physical violence here. It's verbal. It's emotional. It takes many forms. So when we talk about this issue, we're talking about a very dark daily reality that affects countless households all across the globe.
And honestly, this brings us to one of the most confusing and dangerous aspects of the whole thing, the psychological disconnect. Think about a guy's public persona, right? Out in public, in front of friends, family, or people at work, a husband might treat his wife with totally normal respect. He looks like a great guy. But then, behind closed doors, the private reality is completely different. He actively mistreats his wife at home. It's almost like living a double life. And that public behavior completely contradicting the private mistreatment, that makes the abuse so much harder for anyone else to spot, and it makes it incredibly isolating for the victim on the inside.
Uncovering the root causes. Why exactly does this happen?
It's a natural question, right? If a man knows perfectly well how to act respectfully in public, what on earth drives him to act so destructively in private? Well, looking at the source material, there are a few sociological and psychological factors at play here. Let's walk through them. First is normalization. A lot of times you'll see that a guy was raised by a violent father. When a kid grows up seeing that every day, they're basically conditioned to think that abusive behavior is just, a normal part of family life. Second is cultural influence. Far too many cultures promote this incredibly toxic idea that a quote-unquote real man has to use force to show his wife who's boss. It's completely wrong, but it spreads like wildfire. Third, there's just a fundamental lack of emotional control. Some guys were never taught how to manage their emotions, especially their anger, and it just spills over into abuse. And finally, some men develop really warped views of women and sex because they regularly view pornography. You put all these together, and they act as these powerful negative influences that totally distort how a husband views his role and his wife.
And unfortunately, recent global events have only compounded all of this. Reports actually indicate that the COVID-19 pandemic intensified these exact problems. Think about it. Global pressures, massive lockdowns, huge financial stress, everyone being confined to the house 24/7. It basically acted as a massive pressure cooker for all the existing issues we just talked about. The pandemic took a situation that was already bad and, for so many households, literally made it worse.
But okay, pause. Let me make something absolutely clear, because this is the most crucial point of this entire explainer. There is no justification, none, absolutely zero of the factors we just listed, not a violent childhood, not cultural pressure, not poor anger management, not pornography, and for sure not pandemic stress, none of it justifies a husband's abusive behavior. Explaining the causes? Sure, that helps us understand where the behavior comes from, but it never, ever equates to excusing the abuse. At the end of the day, the responsibility always remains squarely on the individual's actions. No exceptions.
So, assigning honor to wives, the ultimate standard. We've looked at the pretty dark reality of abuse. Now, let's shift gears to the highest standard expected of husbands, which acts as the ultimate resolution to everything we've just discussed. Let's look at 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. It says, "You husbands, assign them honor as to a weaker vessel, the feminine one." Now, really focus on that specific phrase, assign them honor. That right there is the definitive countermeasure to the physical, verbal, and emotional abuse we talked about earlier. Think about it. To assign honor literally means to place high value, deep respect, and preciousness upon someone. It is physically and emotionally impossible to simultaneously honor someone and abuse them. This verse sets an absolute standard. It completely dismantles that cultural lie we mentioned earlier that a real man uses force. No way. Instead, it elevates the husband's role to one of profound respect. And this is exactly why this matters. It gives us a clear, actionable alternative to the cycle of mistreatment. So, what does this all mean? Well, it leaves us with one final vital question. Will you reject hidden abuse and choose to uphold the standard of honor? You see, understanding the root causes of domestic abuse, that's just step one. The ultimate goal is recognizing that there is absolutely no excuse for it, and then actively choosing a path of genuine respect. I really challenge you to reflect on this absolute standard of honor in your own life and how you view the relationships all around you.
For more information on all of this, please visit jw.org. And hey, if you found this helpful, please like, share, subscribe, and press that bell icon for notifications so you never miss a future explainer. Thank you so much for joining me today, and keep learning.